The Great Pyramid is, I think, the third biggest pyramid on the planet, okay? The Great Pyramid of Giza. It's massive, right? Look, this is a person. That's how big it is. That's a tiny little person here, and this is a massive pyramid. It's rough, each one of these blocks is worth, is about anywhere between 50 to 200 tons, massive. So this pyramid is 5.75 million tons, give or take a bit. How much CO2, like let's say we took our global CO2 emissions and we condensed all the CO2 and put them in little blocks and built pyramids, CO2 pyramids, okay? In tons, how many tons are we emitting, is the human race emitting every year? How much CO2 are we emitting? 15 million tons a year. Any higher, lower? 80 million tons a year? 200 million tons. I spent an hour fact checking that. I was like, this has got to be a typo. Surely it's million. We are emitting 45 billion tons of CO2 a year. Let's put this back into pyramid speak. We're building 7,827 Great Pyramids a year. We're building 652 Great Pyramids per month. Just imagine all those pyramids floating around in the sky. That's why thermal energy is not escaping the planet as much as it should be. Yellowstone is a great concern, and the Capa de Viedra. No, it's a contributor. But the thing is, even if we were to continue this, if you look at the trajectory of that, it's not good. Either way, it's not good. As I said, we're plugging our exhaust pipe into the cabin, and we're choking us out. So the biggest contributors to global warming are buildings. The second biggest is livestock. The third biggest is transportation. Cows, basically. When I say livestock, it's predominantly cows. I think it's like 95% of the livestock quota is cows. They just fart and burp like no tomorrow. So yeah, one of the biggest, but the thing is, if we just got rid of all beef and the whole planet stopped eating beef, it's like crying into the Atlantic Ocean. It won't make much of a difference. We've pretty much gone past the point of no return, depending on which scientist you speak to. You could put it this way, 35% of all the trees on the planet are in the Arctic Circle. Another crazy fact I didn't know, 35% of all the planet's trees are in a ring across the Arctic Circle. If you were to create 4 more of those, it still wouldn't make a difference. 4 more of those rings, it wouldn't make a difference. And the other thing, but the thing is, it doesn't matter, even if you ignore the temperature thing, it's the chemistry level. So it's not just in the atmosphere which we're pumping, it's also into the water. Our oceans are absorbing far more CO2, and what CO2 does to water is it acidifies it. It's making our oceans more acid-like, and that's affecting fish and other bits and pieces, but also it's affecting the currents. Because we're now increasing the melting of our polar caps, there's a huge amount of meltwater entering our sort of ocean ecosystem, so to speak, and it's starting to mess with our undercurrents. The Gulf Stream, I mean, hell, if we didn't have the Gulf Stream, the UK would be frozen over. The UK is further north than most of Canada. Did you know that? Look at a map, get the map out and draw a straight line. We are on par with some of the coldest parts of Canada. But the only way that we are experiencing this warm weather is because of the Gulf Stream. That's why we have palm trees in Devon. But you have to look at temperature on an absolute scale. So everyone's talking about, oh, well, does it matter if the world is heating up by 1 degree? What is 1 degree? It means nothing. Or 2 degrees, or like everyone's kicking up a big fuss that, you know, we need to hit 2 degrees increase max, or 6 degrees is game over. You have to look at it from an absolute scale. So temperature from an absolute scale is down to the vibrations of atoms, basically. So absolute zero, 0 degrees Kelvin, is when you have, it's the lowest energy state that atoms can be. They're still vibrating slightly. I mean, in theory, they're motionless, but they're not actually motionless, they've recently discovered. And so, 0 state energy is minus 273 degrees Celsius, okay? That's 0 degrees Kelvin. So let's say we do a lot of effort right now and we get rid of fossil fuels, we get rid of everything, we transition to good stuff, we stop eating meat, we kill all the oil factories, we stop pumping stuff into the oceans and in the air, and we only just scrape by with a 2 degree increase. It's still game over. Because look at it from the absolute scale. If we hit 2 degrees, New York is underwater. -2, New York's frozen. So our whole planet, our little human ecosystem, our world as we know it, we have to live within the smallest of temperature fluctuations. I saw a shill, like this climate scientist whose 40% of his budget is paid by BP, which is like, and he was arguing against climate change, and he was saying, in the last 100 years, the world has only increased in temperature by 0.8 degrees Celsius. But 0.8 degrees is a big deal when we're looking at the absolute scale.